Transfer deadline day is fast approaching here in our realistic takeover rebuild, and new Everton manager Graham Potter has some big decisions to make. We've seen several players leave the club, and Graham Potter and the new owners still have some work to do to find their replacements. His first decision though is how to line up against this Wolves side, who are going to line up in a 5-2-3 as they visit Goodison Park for the third game of the Premier League season. Nelson Semedo was a player that I looked at bringing in on loan before we managed to secure the services of Philip Mwene. And Wolves have brought in the young, exciting Oscar Bob from Man City to play alongside Mateus Cunha up front. And Graham Potter's 11 looks pretty much the same as in the last episode, but there has been a slight adjustment to the shape of the side and to the tactics employed. We really struggled at times going forward in our opening game versus Fulham, so we're looking to get a little bit wider going forward and to put a few more players into the box. We've also dropped Amadou Onana back into slightly more of a deep line playmaker role, and Dwight McNeil and Jack Harrison are going to be looking to get in behind whilst also drifting wide to support Patterson and Mikalenko on their overlapping runs. And it's just about enough to put another point on the board for us this season. Totti opening the scoring for Wolves before Jack Harrison equalised shortly before the break. Mope came on for James Tarkowski in the second half and had an eventful time. He-Chan put Wolves 2-1 up. Mope missed a penalty that would have levelled the scoring in the 79th minute, but it does make amends by putting the ball in the back of the net and getting a point for his side in the 86th minute. And with less than a week to go until transfer deadline day and no games in the meantime, that gives Graham Potter an offer to call Mikel Arteta again, with Reiss Nelson being the subject of conversation. We had a £12 million bid for Nelson accepted in the last episode, but we were unable to come to terms. Offering him the important squad role meant we were capped out at £34,000, and he was insisting on something more in the 46 range. Graham Potter has decided that he would be a crucial player in his initial season at Everton, so that does open up the door to offering us a wage that Reiss Nelson would be happy with. And in the end, we do manage to settle on a contract. $40,000 a week is what Reiss Nelson will make, in addition to a £500,000 signing bonus. And Reiss Nelson becomes the third permanent transfer to arrive at Everton in the Graham Potter era. Jack Harrison making his loan deal permanent initially. Arnaud Ahmedhodzic coming in from Sheffield United, and now Reiss Nelson. The most exciting of the three transfers, you would have to say, is going to inject a bit of pace, a bit of creativity, a bit of attacking flair into those forward three. Dwight McNeil is a very good player, but a defensive-minded midfielder, a traditional wide midfielder, rather than a more modern forward. Jack Harrison, a bit more of a modern player, but somewhat limited, you would say, and the amount of growth left in Jack Harrison leaves a lot to be desired, but Reiss Nelson could potentially be one of the key figures of this Everton squad going forward. And if we plug those numbers into our finances tab, then our remaining transfer budget for the rest of the season is going to be just £8.6 million. And that signing does also mean that we knock off one of our high priority board objectives here early in the season, Reiss Nelson being a crucial player that we've signed to a forward position. And with all of the departures from the club, we have also already achieved our high priority financial objectives. So things not going spectacularly well on the pitch, but things ticking over nicely off it. And as transfer deadline day approaches, we receive an offer for a player that I wasn't anticipating selling at this deadline, an 11.1 million bid from Benfica for Vitaly Mikalenko. Now, this is an offer that we are able to reject. However, we are likely to be fighting just to stay in the Premier League this season, whereas Benfica are towards the top of the Portuguese league early in this season. They do also have a place in the Europa League. We would also be able to ask for a little bit more money from Benfica, pushing that transfer fee up in the region of 14 million. So that's exactly what we do, and it is a negotiation that is accepted. 14 million for Vitaly Mikalenko. So Vitaly Mikalenko, a player I wasn't anticipating selling this window. However, we do have a ready-made replacement already lined up. Maxime de Kuyper, a player I had my eye on anyway, just 22 years old, can play left back or right back, has high work rates, has excellent stamina and some good technical attributes as well. And he would only cost somewhere in the region of £9 million. So although I wasn't anticipating selling Mikalenko, being able to replace him with a younger player of similar quality whilst also adding about £5 million to our transfer budget. Seems too good to pass up on. And an offer of £9 million is enough to get it done. So we will head over to contract negotiations. And an offer of £15,000 per week in addition to a £200,000 signing bonus should be enough to bring the youngster in. And indeed it is. So Graham Potter has made his 4th permanent signing here in his first season at Everton. And as we reach deadline day proper, Spurs have come in with a last-minute bid for James Tarkowski, £12.2 million the offer. And I think we're going to be in trouble if we are forced to sell here. We are dangerously thin at centre-back, and I think Graham Potter should be looking to bring in another centre-back rather than to be selling one on deadline day. But fortunately, we are able to reject this offer, and that's exactly what we'll do. And as business begins to round out here on deadline day, just one more move in the making. Noah Mbamba, an 18-year-old central defensive midfielder with really high upside. But the interesting thing about him is he's actually better at playing centre-back, so a very versatile player. And we're bringing him in on a years-long loan with a buy settlement of a little under £3 million. Bayer Leverkusen are a bigger club and are in the Champions League, having won the league last year. However, we do, of course, have our club consultant in Germany, which is going to help us get this deal over the line. So Noah Mbamba does arrive to provide some cover and some depth, not just at centre midfield, but at centre-back as well. And barring any additional offers for any of our players, that should round out the business here on deadline day for Graham Potter. So something of an overhaul of the squad here in Graham Potter's first window. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the biggest name to leave the club, but Michael Keane makes his way out as well, alongside Vitaly Mykolenko, a surprise departure, and Mason Holgate. And a couple of big signings come through the door to replace them. Arnel Armadodzic and Reece Nelson, the biggest names, alongside Maxime de Kuyper. Jack Harrison makes his deal from Leeds permanent. And then we do have Philip Mwene and Noah Mbamba in on loan. Mbamba, of course, on that loan to buy deal. So we could be looking to make him a permanent signing come the end of the season. And with all those ins and outs taken into consideration, we do still have a little over 10 million left to play with when the January transfer window opens once more. And a number of those new signings will be thrown straight into the first team as we head into our featured game of the episode versus Leeds. Maxime de Kuyper starts at left wing back opposite Nathan Patterson. Jared Branthwaite, James Tarkowski, and another new player, Arnel Armadodzic, start in the centre of defence in front of Jordan Pickford. Onana and James Garner, the midfield pairing. And then Reece Nelson is also going to make his debut for the Toffees today, alongside Dwight McNeil, pairing up behind Beto up front. Leeds don't look to have made too many signings over the course of the summer, but they do have a new right side in Wolf and Solbakken, and they are coming off 2 straight victories in the last 3 games. Archie Gray also makes a start for Leeds today. We had our eye on Archie Gray approaching the deadline, but we didn't get a deal over the line for him. He could be a player that we circle back around on in January if he is still available. But without further ado, let's head over to Elland Road and see if we can put our first 3 points on the board this season. We are up in the commentary booth for our second featured game of the season. A trip to Elland Road to face Leeds United, and a host of new signings in the squad ready to make their debuts. Armadodzic not making his debut today, but it is the first time that we've used him in a played game. He's featured in Quick Sim for us, and he's been on the ball a couple of times early here today as Jared Branthwaite steps up from his centre-back position. Dwight McNeil looking for Beto, who's made a good run into the Leeds box, putting the Leeds defender and the goalkeeper under pressure as well there. But the Leeds keeper does manage to clear before Beto bundles him into the net. Nathan Patterson starts again on the right-hand side, but Maxime de Kuyper, a late addition to the side in summer. Not quite a deadline day deal, but it was approaching the deadline when Benfica called Graham Potter and put in that bid for Vitaly Mykolenko, and that meant a new left back was needed. Maxime Takeover, I think, an exciting young player, only 18 years of age, and that was a fantastic cross in towards Reiss Nelson, who is yet another of our new players in the starting lineup today. Also very excited to see Reiss Nelson in an Everton shirt. Dwight McNeil, Jack Harrison, I think decent options, as Beto could be in here. The Kuiper again outside him on the left. A few more players in the box now, one of which is Dwight McNeil. The Leeds defender gets the challenge in before McNeil can get the shot away. That was one of our big problems against Fulham, though. We just didn't get enough players into the box. We didn't have enough people gambling, particularly the likes of McNeil and Jack Harrison, who we do need to be supporting Beto. We can't just rely on Beto in the box to be getting on the end of crosses and gambling by making runs across the near post and the like. James Garner doing well to turn out of trouble there and find McNeil. Lots of space for Nathan Patterson on his right hand side, and he is found by McNeil, and it's a dangerous cross in towards Beto at the back post. Not cleared by Leeds, and Patterson's going to have a chance to cross again. Reiss Nelson in the area forces Leeds into a mistake, and the referee, it's not the referee, it's actually the assistant who's raised his flag. I thought the referee had given a free kick for something there, but Nelson had actually strayed into an offside position there. It's a bright start for Everton here at Elland Road, though. Much brighter than the start that we had at home against Fulham in the last episode. So we're going to look to continue that here today. We do need to look to be as robust defensively as we were against Fulham, though. We defended relatively well, conceded a couple of disappointing goals, but for the most part against Fulham, we were fairly solid and robust defensively. We did concede 2 goals, one of which was against 10 men. But I don't think that should take away from the overall performance. Ethan Ampadu in a dangerous position here as Leeds begin to work it wide. Tarkovsky in the area. Reiss Nelson back doing his defensive duty as well. That's something that we do have in the likes of Dwight McNeil and Jack Harrison at the very least. And Leeds punish us early. It's around about the time that we conceded against Fulham, and with their first real attack of the game, Leeds are on the board, struggling to put a foot in on the edge of our own penalty area there. And the Leeds man on the half turn finds a bit of space, and he makes no mistake with the finish. Jaden Anthony it was playing the Leeds man in. Jorginho, not sure if he's a new signing or not. He's not a player that I'm familiar with at the very least. And for the second time in as many episodes, Graham Potter again sees... Oh, yeah, he is a Leeds player. I didn't realise that he wore Jorginho on the back of his shirt rather than Rutter or Ruter. But Graham Potter again sees his side go a goal down. And again, we're going to have to try and rally and get back into this game. We didn't manage to do it against Fulham, despite a more promising second half. Dwight McNeil in a good position, lays it off to James Garner. There's Beto, takes it down beautifully on his chest. Can he get a shot away? Yes, he can. Tipped onto the post. What an unbelievable save by the Leeds goalkeeper. I thought for certain that was going to be a goal. Beto took the ball down on his chest extremely well in the box. Had the strength to hold off the challenge of the Leeds defender. And it was an incredible save from point-blank range by the Leeds goalkeeper. I assume it's LAMBZY. I didn't pay too much attention to the Leeds goalkeeper in the pre-match report. But unless they've signed a new number 1, it will be LAMBZY between the sticks. A player that I would be relatively interested in terms of a young understudy to Jordan Pickford. Good challenge from Nathan Patterson. And another as Jaden Anthony continues on that left-hand side for Leeds. Patterson does eventually manage to clear. And again, Dwight McNeil, Reiss Nelson, both back in a defensive area for Everton. Graham Potter does ask a lot of his players in terms of work rate, and we will be asking our players to get back on defence frequently in most games, to be honest. And Leeds again working it well around the penalty area. Ethan Ampadu playing in Jorginho. The Leeds fans want a penalty, the referee says no, and De Kuiper's going to be able to come away with the ball here on the left hand side. Not too much going on up ahead of him, so he'll just recycle through James Tarkowski and Jared Branthwaite. Nathan Patterson on the right hand side. James Garner can't find any space in the midfield there, and De Kuiper just drops in to pick the ball up once more. Again, there's space on that right hand side if we can find Nathan Patterson. He does just drift off towards the byline, and the Leeds players are coming relatively narrow. Patterson into the box, but nobody's there. De Kuiper's going to be able to collect. Tarkowski just lays it off for James Garner, but doesn't get enough on it. And Leeds collect once more in the form of the new man Wolf and Archie Gray, dropping into a position to pick the ball up. Cleared away by the Leeds goalkeeper, knocked down by Armadodzic. Here's Reece Nelson. Dwight McNeil with a good run into the penalty area, but Nelson can't find him with the little chip. It was an ambitious effort, a creative and imaginative attempt to try and get Dwight McNeil the ball. And Leeds just put the ball out of play. Half an hour gone. We are 1-0 down, but we are fairly well in control of this game. A good amount of possession here in the first half, and just the one opportunity for Leeds really is an opportunity that they managed to take. Reece Nelson with the run inside Nathan Patterson this time, but Patterson can't find him. James Garner pressing high up the field, almost wins the ball back. We're just lacking a little bit of creative spark going forward. We need to really organise ourselves in terms of what we want to achieve going forward. De Kuiper with a great run. James Garner can't find him. There was a lot of space in behind there. We do need to find our identity as an attacking team, because at the moment we're a little bit at odds with each other. And I think a big part of that is dangerous opportunity for Leeds there. Thankfully, the free header goes straight into the grateful arms of Jordan Pickford. I think a big reason that we can't get things going forward at the moment is that we don't have any coaches. I haven't yet managed to find any tiki-taka coaches that we've been able to hire. So we're not getting any kind of a boost to our game plan, to our player ratings, or even to our player development at the moment. That's certainly a priority going forward. However, I have set myself some fairly strict rules and restrictions in terms of coaches that we can hire as well. We are only allowed to hire coaches equal to our club star level. So we're only allowed to hire 4-star coaches. Well worked on this left-hand side. De Kuiper again in space. Beto in the box. Beto not in the box. That's actually Reece Nelson. Beto knocks it down to De Kuiper, who again is going to have space to cross. James Garner this time across the near post. And the ball just about falls to him. He tries to lay it off to Amadou Onana, but he's running backwards. Onana needs to wake up there. He's turning and running back towards his own goal, and we have the ball in Leeds' final third. That's better from Onana. Nathan Patterson outside again with a chance to cross. Reece Nelson towards the back post as the target. Collected and worked out well by Leeds. Composure by the Leeds goalkeeper and defenders there in their own penalty area. Maxime De Kuiper has been extremely influential in this first half though. He's looked really, really good going forward. He's beaten there though by Wolf. And he's not the quickest player, so he's got to be offside, ref. He's got to be offside! How is he not offside? How is he not offside? Sam Byram, all alone in our 6-yard box, and he's not offside. Who's keeping him on there? Please tell me who is keeping him on. I see nobody keeping him on there. Is it Tarkowski? Jordan Pickford makes the save. It falls to Sam Byram and he taps in the rebound. But I'm still at odds as to how that goal is allowed to stand. James Tarkowski, I guess, must have been the man keeping him on. But for all the world, that looked to me that Sam Byram was in an offside position. And that goal should have been chalked off. Reece Nelson with the run in behind, blocked and out for a throw. So just before half-time, we find ourselves 2-0 down here. I knew we'd struggle this season. I knew we'd be down in the bottom half. I didn't think we'd be struggling this much. That's a poor challenge. How is that not a free kick? How is that not a free kick at the end there? Nathan Patterson running in behind, and he's completely blocked off by the Leeds man. And somehow we go into the break 2-0 down. I knew it would be a difficult season, but I thought we'd be able to go to Leeds and get something from our trip to Elland Road, but we're going to have to turn it on in the second half if we're going to make that happen. So 2 changes for Everton coming out for this second half. Graham Potter did not like what he saw in that first half. So James Garner off at half-time, along with Dwight McNeil, and Abdoulaye Doucouré and Jack Harrison, the players to replace them. Reece Nelson has switched over to the left-hand side to replace McNeil. Jack Harrison coming in on the right, and Beto should be in the box there. He's taken up positions on the corner of the penalty area. And this is exactly what I mean about our attacking philosophy and our attacking vision going forward. Beto is taking up positions on the corner of the penalty area when he's our only striker. And he's really a target man as much as anything else. We really need him in the box if we're going to have anybody at all to aim for. Good intervention from James Tarkowski. Ahmedhodzic spreads it wide to Maxime de Kuyper, an influential player in that first half, and he's going to look to turn the screw here in the second. Drops the ball into the channel for Reece Nelson to chase down, and Reece Nelson does really well to win it. Jack Harrison in the box, straight to the goalkeeper. Can we get a rebound of our own? And we can. The goal does stand. I thought for a moment the referee was looking towards the lineman for an offside flag, but Jack Harrison comes on. A super substitute, initially heading the ball straight at the feet of the goalkeeper. But against his old club, Jack Harrison comes on and gets a goal back for Everton early here in the second half. Just 5 minutes gone. But we have life once more here in this game. The next goal, if there was one, was always going to be extremely important here. If it went to Leeds and they went 3-0 up, it would have been game over without doubt. But it is Everton who find the back of the net. And suddenly it's all to play for once more. It's 2-1. Onana. De Kuyper again in a good position. Reece Nelson again making a good run up ahead of him. Branthwaite, Tarkowski, Ahmedhodzic. A bit more urgency now, as Ahmedhodzic gives it away and completely kills that momentum. Again, that's something we mentioned in the first episode, and something we do definitely need to continue to get better at. It's playing out from the back. Tarkowski and Onana between them do well. Jared Beto. Beto. Why do I think he's called Jared Beto? Beto gives the ball away. We had a quick break on there. I'm racking my brains at the moment to work out why the name Jared Beto just popped into my head, but we're going to have to switch on defensively here. Sam Byram in a good attacking position, shot towards goal and is saved by Jordan Pickford. Ethan Ampadu this time, and Sol Bakana, who I believe is another new Leeds man, preparing to take the corner. He does put it in rather than going short. James Tarkowski heads clear. Doucouré can't bring it under control. Strong enough to hold off the Leeds man initially, but it was persistent play by the Leeds man to get back in. and steal the ball away. Knocked down by the Leeds player as they continue to work the ball around the edge of our penalty area. Takeover and Branthwaite trying to stop the cross between them. They do manage to stop the cross, but Leeds continuing to attack. Takeover with a good intervention, but can't quite get enough on it to clear. Knocked down by Ampadu. Jorginho placed down by Branthwaite. Onana on the edge of the box, trying to get a foot in as well. Can't do so. James Tarkowski though can, and Reiss Nelson lays it off to Takeover, who's going to find Amadou Onana in a good position here. Nathan Patterson's made a very good run, and Onana has played an incredible pass in to find him. Beto is in the box, first time header, and it's actually Doucouré. Potentially he had the time to take it down there. Really good quick counter attack. Amadou Onana setting Nathan Patterson free on that right hand side, and watching it back again there, I think Doucouré was right in taking the opportunity on first time. It was a low percentage effort, a header from around the penalty spot, but there was a Leeds man close to him, and I think if he would have tried to take that down, Leeds would have been in position to steal the ball away from him before he could get the shot away. Jared Branthwaite, what an intervention. Here's Takeover. Reiss Nelson with the run in behind now. Can Takeover find him? He's dropped that ball nicely into the channel, and Reiss Nelson could be in here. He beats one Leeds man into the penalty box. Reiss Nelson, on his debut, levels it for Everton. And Jack Harrison, the ex-Leeds player, and Reiss Nelson making his debut for Everton. Between them, they completely turned the game around here at Elland Road. Reiss Nelson with the pace to get into the penalty area. Waited for the goalkeeper. It's not Illan Meslier. Waited for the goalkeeper to come out. And with exceptional timing, took the opportunity to poke it through the legs of the oncoming goalkeeper. And with roughly half an hour to go in the game, it is all level again here at Elland Road. It's 2-2. We have to make a decision now. Do we try and capitalise on this momentum and go for a winner? Or do we simply try and come away with a point here? Sam Byram. Can we clear? What a save by Jordan Pickford. I think it's going to be a case of trying to hold on and come away with a point. We've done so well to get back into the game. I'd hate to push for a winner and just end up conceding. 20 minutes to go, and I think we're going to make a couple of changes here, as are Leeds United themselves. Archie Gray to go off and Kamara to come on to replace him. And just a single change for Graham Potter and Everton. It's going to be Maxime Takeover to go off. He's had an incredible debut, to be honest. He's been influential up and down that left-hand side, and it's going to be Philip Mwene to come on to replace him. So 20 minutes to go, and we are just trying to ensure that we come away with a point here from Elland Road. So we have dropped into a slightly more conservative 5-4-1 formation, trying to hold off this Leeds attack, and it is blocked by James Tarkowski. The danger's still not clear though. Nathan Patterson does manage to get in, and he is just going to hook the ball away up the line here in search of Jack Harrison, who cannot win it. Just trying to pin Leeds in deep in their own half. However, they have managed to venture into our half once more, and it's a dangerous cross cleared at the back post. Ethan Ampadu takes it down on the edge of the box. Amadou Onana can't get the foot in. It's blocked by Branthwaite, and Nathan Patterson clears once more. And we are under the cosh here. We're just trying to hang on. And Jack Harrison needs to drop in. Leeds have far too many bodies out wide. Nathan Patterson completely overwhelmed. And he just bounces off Sam Byram. Leeds into our penalty area once more. Onana can't clear. Tarkowski trying to get a foot in as well. There's Onana once more, and another really good challenge. And we'll try and work the ball out here rather than just lumping it up the line. Decore. Jack Harrison with a run in behind. Leeds have stepped up and Harrison could be in behind here. Doesn't quite have the pace that Reiss Nelson has. But he does have the ability to take it into the corner, and he doesn't manage to bounce it off the Leeds player. Just trying to work a corner there as we see Reiss Nelson's goal once more. The leveller here in this game, a really composed finish. And we're just going to try and sit in for these last 15 minutes and ensure that we can come away with at least a point, potentially nick a goal from a set piece, or just try and grab a late winner from somewhere. But priority one has to be making sure that we don't concede another goal. If we don't concede, we get at least a point. Reiss Nelson does well to win the ball back. Decore. Beto screaming for the ball. Decore with a driven cross, but it's blocked by the Leeds man. And what's the referee pointing for here? I think it's just a Leeds free kick. And it is. Trying to play the advantage there, the referee, but no advantage for Leeds as they clear the ball upfield, and it is pulled back for a Leeds free kick in the penalty area. Beto just trying to harry and harass the Leeds defenders high up the pitch. If we can keep the ball in these kinds of areas, I would be more than happy. And Onana's done well to nick the ball away. Harrison coming away on the left-hand side here, and we do have players in the box, one of whom is Decore, and the ball falls into the grateful hands of the goalkeeper. It's actually Carl Darlow in goal for Leeds today. No Elan Melier. Well won by Abdoulaye Decore. Do not blow for a free kick there, referee. How on earth can that be a free kick? There's absolutely nothing in that. It's a 50-50 challenge with the bouncing ball. But Leeds again gifted possession by the referee. Good challenge by Jack Harrison. And the ball just out for a throw-in. Harrison stepped up there and he's missed out. Mwene just does well to delay the Leeds attack and force it back towards their own goal though. Onana can't quite get the foot in. Same goes for Mwene. And Leeds again in a dangerous position, finding themselves on the edge of our penalty box once more. No fouls in there, please. Good challenge from Onana into the feet of Beto, and can we come away on a quick counter-attack here? Beto galloping forward. Onana's inside. Decore's up ahead. And we have space on the right-hand side here for Nelson. Acres of it. Nelson takes it down. Can he find a winner? He hits it straight at Darlow. No! So much composure from Reiss Nelson to find the equaliser. But he couldn't find that same composure there. Too much time perhaps on the ball. He does get his shot on target, but unfortunately it's right at Carl Darlow. Either side of him, and the goalkeeper surely would have had a problem. But Nelson puts it right down the centre of the goal. Right into Darlow's chest. And I think that could easily be our last opportunity to get all 3 points from this game. Branthwaite has stepped up and he's got the challenge all wrong. Thankfully, Decore is there to bail him out. Onana works it free to Jack Harrison. Away on this left-hand side now. Leeds pushing for the winner, but they've left themselves exposed. Harrison into the box. Pulls it back for Decore, who puts it wide. I said Nelson's chance was going to be our last to win the game. But a second falls to Decore. And like Reiss Nelson just before him, unable to find the composure to slot the ball into the corner of the net. And I think we are going to come to rue those chances. Come the end of this game, I think we are going to come to rue those chances. It's a good ball from Onana into the feet of Patterson. Decore. Mwene up in support. Beto in the box. Mwene puts it in. Reiss Nelson at the back post, but he's not a threat aerially, and that is a hand. I thought I saw a hand in there, and the referee did too. It's potentially one final opportunity as time is close to elapsing here. Decore standing over the free kick at the moment. I'm not sure he'll be the one that ends up taking it, whoever ends up taking it is going to have an opportunity to win the game for us here, potentially with the last kick. Dwight McNeil has gone off. Maxime de Kuyper has gone off. And I think we're going to have to rely on Reece Nelson to try and get a shot on target here. It's a tall order. He's not really a free kick taker, but he is going to be taking this one, and it does just go straight into the wall, and it is cleared by Leeds. The referee's full-time whistle does go, and it is going to be points shared again here early in this season. A trip to Elland Road nets a point for Everton. It's a decent result considering we were 2-0 down. Much more positive things to take from that second half, especially since de Kuyper and Reece Nelson both contributed so heavily to that game. Jack Harrison with a good shift against his old club as well. And we are going to rue those chances that we missed at the end. 2 opportunities to win the game, but I don't think we can complain too much about going to Leeds and coming away with a point. So mixed emotions coming out of the fixture against Leeds. A trip to Elland Road is always a tough task, and we do have positives to take from the game, coming from 2-0 down to rescue a point. Some really good debuts as well from Reece Nelson and Maxime de Kuyper. Expect to see them feature heavily as we progress through this first season. So it was a great debut for Reece Nelson, and it's going to be another big game for him here as he takes on his old club Arsenal in our final game of the episode. Reece Nelson will make the start, this time alongside Jack Harrison behind Beto. Doucouré comes back into the side alongside Onana, and Godfrey returns into that back 3 in place of Ahmedhodzic. A couple of new defenders have arrived in the summer for Arsenal, and Mohamed El Neni has returned to the club as well. He'll be starting alongside Declan Rice and Jorginho in midfield. Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli make the start up front. But unfortunately, we are not able to come away with anything from this game. It was a frantic start to the game as Jesus opens the scoring for Arsenal. De Kuyper gets his first goal for Everton 4 minutes later. But just after half-time, Martin Ødegaard comes on and scores what would be the winner for Arsenal. And that will round out an eventful episode which sees us sitting in 14th place in the Premier League. Not a win on the board yet for us, but we do have 3 points from 3 draws. And if we are going to get that first win on the board anytime soon, I think we need to continue to address and refine our tactics, particularly in terms of our attacking philosophy. The squad is now set, at least until January. So until then, it's just going to be about getting the most out of the players that we do have available to us. And we do at least have a handful of coaches in the ranks now to help us get that done. We are only allowed to sign coaches equal to our club star ranking, so only 4-star coaches, and they must remain in the positional group to which we first assigned. And we could certainly do with our first win coming in the next episode. 2 big league games to get to, an away trip to Brentford and a home clash versus Leicester City. I anticipate that these are 2 clubs that we will be battling with to avoid relegation come the end of the season. So getting 3 or even 6 points in the next episode could prove to be crucial. We also have a Carabao Cup game to get to, a trip to Morecambe. So we'll look forward to those fixtures in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.